Hey guys, how's it going? Gonna wait a few minutes for a few people to show up. In the meantime, I'm just gonna, there we go. Let's see, let me just arrange this shot a little bit better. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, hey guys. Wanted to take a few minutes here, and I'm at a friend's house that has fast internet, so I can actually go live. At home, this doesn't work, but actually doesn't work at work either. But anyway, since I had the opportunity and I had a few minutes free, I thought I would go ahead and put out a quick live video. I don't do this often. I'd love to hear your comments down below. I'll try to respond to them as best I can as we go along. I thought I would start, by the way, watch how smart I am. I took my watch off before starting this video because I knew my left hand would be occupied holding the camera. Anyway, wanted to start out with a video, with a little quick story about how this watch, hold on, man, the glare's terrible. There we go. How this watch really kind of saved my butt a few days ago. Well, I guess it's a couple months ago now, but I was out deer hunting. I was on a property that I wasn't familiar with. I'd scouted around a little bit and I knew where I wanted to hunt, but I hadn't like done an extensive survey of the area. Hey buddy, how's it going? Anyway, I started tracking a deer, and I was kind of looking and seeing a lot of sign, and so I kind of was following along thinking that, you know, the original place I'd been wasn't working out that hot, so maybe I could find a secondary location. Anyway, I hiked through the bush for a while. I find this nice little meadow where I can set up, and I'm like, it looks really good. Lots of deer sign coming in and going out. I'm like, hey, this looks awesome. Anyway, so I set up, start kind of hunt for a little while, and then when I decide to leave, I realized that I wasn't exactly sure which direction to go, nor was I exactly sure how to get back to where I had been. I knew, you know, roughly what direction I'd been traveling. Anyway, that's where the watch came in. So I actually used the compass on this watch to get my sorry butt out of the bush. And it worked out really well. And so I was super fortunate that I happened to have it with me. I'd love to hear something about where, you know, something like that happened to you and you were able to kind of get out, or, you know, your particular EDC that day or something you normally have with you kind of saved your butt. Anyway, that's my little story about how glad I was to happen to be wearing this watch that day. I actually wore it because I knew I had to be back by a certain time to get my son from school. Had nothing to do with thinking about the compass function until all of a sudden I was like, man, I have no idea how to get out of here. Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for checking in. I don't know where the rest of you guys live. Hey, how's it going? But here, I've got to tell you, it is stupidly, stupidly cold. We have tons of snow, and it started on Christmas, and traveling has been a bit of a nightmare. On Christmas Day, we were traveling down to see family, and that was a fiasco. Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, there you go. So you'll be having nice weather right now. On Christmas Day, yeah, it was absolutely nuts. I snowblowed out the driveway, and honestly, in like half an hour, there were 3 inches of snow back in the driveway again. So the weather here, and it hasn't stopped. Like, it's been miserable. Later on that night, we were traveling from 2 different cities where different family members live, and it was still ridiculous. Hey, Neil. Yeah, Sudbury, Ontario. Yeah, you're getting the same stuff we are, man. It's ridiculous. And apparently it's going to stick around for a while. That said, I thought I'd pull out some of these knives. I think this is most everything that I brought with me. If I forget one, you know, I'll try to remind. Hopefully it'll come to me partway through the video. But I pulled these knives out because I was traveling around for a few days, and these were the knives that man, Wisconsin -6. Yeah, that's cold. So these were the knives that I brought with me, and I thought I'd kind of share my thought process with you guys as I kind of thought about what knives I wanted to bring. And so here are the things that I kind of I don't know, the kind of things that went through my head. I thought about what places I was going to be going and which people I was going to be around. Some of them are really into knives, and I knew that they would appreciate the 8015. So I wanted to bring that just to kind of share, especially because even non-knife people, like, the action on this knife is pretty cool. And so I could see them appreciating it, even if, you know, they weren't like, they didn't know exactly what it was or who made it or anything like that. So I brought this one along. Let's see. The other one I brought kind of for that reason was actually two others, the Riot and of course the Sebenza, because a lot of guys who, you know, they may not know a ton about knives. Actually, this is an Inkosi. I shouldn't be calling it a Sebenza, even though I do sometimes. But a lot of guys who don't know anything about knives will know that, you know, a really nice high-end knife is something from Chris Reeve Knives. Actually, I do have, oh, you're right. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to try to get it without shaking this camera around too much. Come on. Oh, got her. Good call. I did have this fixed blade, and that's the only one I have access to right now. Now, in the car, I always have a large fixed blade, but in terms of an EDC fixed blade, this Reich 815 is phenomenal. And, you know, I've talked about this a lot, guys. I honestly, in terms of an EDC fixed blade, this is about the best one that I have come across. And I've tried a lot of different EDC fixed blades. I even like this better. I know this is almost sacrilege to say, but I like this better than the Guardian 3. I like it better than the SE 3, the Azula. So because it's small in terms of its size, it's very lightweight, it carries easily, it can be changed to a bunch of different directions. And the knife itself is really, really utilitarian. The other thing I gotta say I like about this knife is, no, I would never hunt with a folder. And actually, I almost broke that rule. Yes, when we were away, what is this? The 27th, I guess. Maybe 27th. On Boxing Day, my brother and I were going to go coyote hunting, and I guess I had this fixed blade with me, but otherwise I wouldn't have had a fixed blade at all. So I may have brought a folder in that particular situation, but normally, no, I would never carry a folder while hunting. Anyway, back to the knives I brought and the thought process. So I brought a few knives to show because people, you know, some friends, some family members know I'm into knives. And so I'll bring some stuff because they always want to kind of check out some cool stuff. This guy could easily fit in that category as well, the Boost Blade Smoke. I haven't actually, you know, I don't know, maybe somebody that's watching this, let me know if this happens to you. But do you have friends who know you're into knives and will be like, every time they see you, hey man, what are you carrying these days? And you almost feel a little bit of pressure to carry something cool because you know that they're going to ask about it. Whoops. Wow, I can't. There we go. So yeah, I have brought this as well. And actually this I brought for two reasons. If I had to carry a folder for hunting, probably carry a Cold Steel Recon 1. I guess, you know what, this wouldn't be a bad option either. This wouldn't be a bad option. I probably wouldn't carry, actually the Sebenza would be fine. I would want to try to avoid something with bearings. So this one, I mean, it's not the worst example of any knife, but you know, there is a potential for crap and stuff to get in there. So it would be a pain in the neck. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I would even feel comfortable carrying this for hunting. It's pretty open. You could clean it up pretty easily after. Ideally, I would like to not have to do that. So yeah, if I was going to go hunting, I would have carried this. For those of you who just are kind of coming in now, I had talked about, we're talking about knives for traveling. I know a number of us were probably away to see family. Ultimate Hunter would be not a bad option for sure. So we're talking about traveling to see family and what knives I bring and why. And these were the ones that I brought with me for like the Christmas visiting family type of stuff. I have now, you know, I kind of carry my computer bag anyway, so it's not, I'm not overly weighed down by a few extra knives. Benchmade Bug. Yeah, that's true. Great travel knife. Now let's see. I think it's a little over a 3-inch blade. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. So it might cause you some problems when you're, for places that say you must have less than 3 inches. But Yeah, great knife for traveling for sure. The bug out, very lightweight. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for that. And by the way, I should say this. This is a bit of a different discussion. If I was like thinking of traveling in terms of, I don't know, I'm going to backpack my way through Europe, or, you know, I'm going to the US and I'm going to be going through 7 or 8 different states from one destination to another, or making multiple stops, I would probably choose different knives for that. I'd probably, you know, if I was going to carry a locking blade, it would be a 3-inch locking blade. If I was going to, and I'd try to at least have a slip joint with me, just because, you know, pretty much anywhere, even country, even states. I'm going to tell you this. I've done some research looking into what you can legally carry in different parts of the world and even different states. And a lot of the laws are written to be like in the police officer's favor, so that if they feel like they need to take a knife from you, they can. But it's going to be at their discretion. And probably 80% of us, and you probably, some of you even watching right now, are like, yeah, well, I live in a place that says you can't do this and you can't do that, but I've never had a problem. Okay. And I think that's probably true in a lot of places. In Canada, it specifically says in our legislation that it's at police discretion. And so any one of these knives, all of these knives are legal in Canada, by the way. But if I catch a cop on the wrong day, or if I'm doing something that he feels like I shouldn't be doing, he has the discretion to confiscate that. And I think that's true in a lot of places. Let's see. Oh yeah. So now that I know we've kind of got, let's move on from the knives that I travel with. If you guys want to weigh in below what knives you travel with, that's fine, and why. I brought this one and this because I wanted something practical. Okay, so as I said, my brother and I, it turned out to be miserably cold, so we didn't go. But we considered going coyote hunting, and I probably would have dropped one of these two in my pocket for that. Maybe this one. I do have a fixed blade, and I think somewhere in my car I have an Essie that I probably, you know, if I had the presence of mind to, I would have brought it. Yeah. Okay, Spyderco Chaparral or traditionals for travel, that's perfect. Because and a traditional knife is awesome for that, because no one cares. Like, no one bats an eyelash. In fact, you know, probably most people, their grandfather or their father, or maybe even they, carry a traditional knife most of the time. By the way, sorry about the shaky camera. The table I'm using is like, if I breathe on it, it wants to move around on me. So I'm trying to stay as still as possible, but it's still moving just a teeny bit. So the other thing I wanted to tell you guys, let's move past the knives for travel. If you want to comment on that or share, you're welcome to do so. But I thought, yeah, the XM Slippy would be great. I think Nick has one, or maybe Nick had one for review and has sent it over to 7 Ready Knife Reviews. And both of them really like it. Now, it doesn't seem like my thing. I think partially because I already have an XM18 that I really like. I don't feel like I need another one. But both of those guys really, really enjoy that XM18 Slippy. Now, wanted to share with you guys some new stuff that is coming. Not new, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. So the first thing is, you guys know I love the Benchmade Crooked River. I don't have it here with me, but it's one of my all-time favorites. Certainly my favorite Benchmade. It's definitely one, and it's one of my favorite all-around knives. There's, I'm going to forget his name. There's an Instagrammer who is doing carbon fiber scales for the Crooked River. And so I've ordered a pair, and they should be coming. I went with forged carbon fiber because I think it looks awesome. And so that'll be a bit of a knife mod that I'm going to have coming up. I'll talk about it a little bit on the channel when it comes, when I do that changeover. I may even record, you know, changing out those scales just to kind of let people know, let people see what's involved with it. The other knife that I have coming, and this is one that I'd love to have some feedback on. I recently was able to get my hands again on a 0562. Now it should be here any day now. And that's a great knife, guys. You know, if you don't have one, especially if you're looking for something higher end, if you want to get like your first ZT, I looked around a bit and some of them were going for like $200. So not a bad price. And it is honestly a great knife, arguably the best ZT that's out there. Let me just change the lighting a little bit. Okay, see if I can get a little bit less glare. I'll just maybe move this knife over. I feel like it's definitely one of the best ZTs around. And so I was able to pick one up. for a really good price. Now, what I'm thinking is when it comes, I want to do something to it. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what mods I want to make, but you know, maybe I'll just change out the hardware for something. If you look at the blue titanium screws on here, come on, focus camera. It's going to focus down here. So there we go. So if you look at like the blue hardware on here, switch it out for something like that. I really, you know, the plain black clip is fine. Yeah, you're totally right. It is one of the best knives around. The other thing I've thought about is switching. I love the carbon fiber scale, but it would be epic to get that scale in like something with copper dust into it, or I don't know. So we'll see, but I do want to, and I'll probably make a video about this and kind of show off the knife and have you guys give me some feedback. Even if you want to, you know, put feedback in the comments below on this video, what you would look, what modifications you think would look cool on 0562. It's nearly a perfect knife as it is. So it would purely be, you know, for looks. Okay. It's not good. I wouldn't want to change anything about the form or the function, but maybe some blue or bronze hardware, you know, some nice anodized hardware. I would like to switch out the clip. That's about the only thing. And the clip is very functional. It's just not very attractive in my mind. So that would be something I wouldn't mind doing something with. Anyway, so that's coming up, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you think would look cool on a 0562, and we'll see what I may try and do with it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me. I know there was some Star Wars noise in the background. My son's playing Battlefront 2, even though I know it got horrible reviews. You know, at 7 years old, you don't care about that. You just want to run around and be Luke Skywalker. I hope everyone has a great new year. I hope your Christmas was awesome. Thanks for checking in, and I'm going to turn this thing off. I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but let's see.